Hello folks and welcome to G4G on YouTube. I am Napalm Dawn, or in this particular instance, Druidicus, the Highmountain Tauren Guardian Bear Druid, currently doing the World of Warcraft The War Within beta. So a lot has transpired since I did the last Delve video. I've gained tons of levels and have definitely completed the Iron World area, all of this area here, the first zone that you get into within the War Within, which is the Isle of Dorn. In the last two videos, we took care of the Fungal Folly Delve and the Earthcrawl Mines Delve, and today we're going to look at Kriegval's Rest. This is the third delve that is in the first area, and actually for future videos, I'm going to be doing delves that are now down in the second zone, which is down here in the Ringing Deep. So we're going to have some delves in there. And the cool thing about those is I haven't done any of those delves yet. So when I do the videos on them, they're going to be completely raw and new. Whereas here in Kriegval, I've already gone through it a couple times. So a lot of the special treasures and hidden ones are already taken care of. Kriegval's Rest is around here on the map. It is in the southern section of Rambleshire. In the area outside here, it is down at the lowest level of this structure, and up there in that structure, which sort of looks like dwarven construction. It's pretty chock full of mobs, but you can come in on the ground level and get into this particular delve without having to deal with those. So, we're going to be doing tier 3 again, because that is the maximum tier we can do right now. You need to be 80 in order to get into tier 4, and from there others will unlock under certain conditionals, but you have to be max level to get to the next particular tier. So we're going to go in on 3, which is my current max. And as we saw in the last video, there are times where these delves can get a little bit spicy. When you first walk in, you can repair and sell gear, get a few particular things, but not that much. You can also set up what you want Bronzebeard to do. I'm going to switch him back to healer. I'm going to, let's see what abilities we're going to give him. The jumping on him thing is a little bit annoying. I think I'm going to go with, I don't think I need the shielding. Player, I'm going to go with the aim shot thing that he does, and utility curio has not been opened up yet. Alright, we're going to go ahead and start going. It's kobold stuff, so of course everything is going to be light and candle based. The first thing we can do is recover 11 stolen keepsakes. Of course, if you've never done any human alliance side questing in your career, you will know that the meme from kobolds is take candle. And I think it even appears in Hearthstone when you are dealing with some kobold-related cards. He's lining up his shot. It doesn't really do much damage. I mean, in all honesty, I would say that the jumping on him thing is probably a little bit better. But sometimes it gets a little obnoxious, and he'll stand in fire and want you to go ahead and jump on him, which means getting into a pit of fire or something. I've leveled up now at 78. I've got a new talent available to me. Frenzy Regeneration cat. Ah, yeah, the cat twisting stuff. I'm going to go with the increased stampeding roar for now. I will do the cat twisting stuff later, as that is not something that I particularly do even when soloing. Now, I have done some cat before, and when you are in cat form, at least there was definitely a certain period of time where you would do cat/healing spell twisting, where some of your cat form abilities would increase the potential of your next heal, and then when you use that heal, your cat abilities would go up and everything. So I have done some of that twisting, but in bear mode, for the most part, twisting is not exactly my thing. However, back in the day when Innervate and Tranquility were more readily available, but they actually kicked you out of your bear form, there were definitely some times where I had some heroic battle reses and well-timed tranquilities that certainly look very heroic when you do them, because you're coming out of form and maybe you're dashing away from a boss to get space so that you don't get crit, and then you pop a very dynamic battle res that gets somebody important, like a DPS in the last 1 or 2%, or a healer that keeps everybody alive. There is an elite over there. Might have a little bonus ability for the dungeon, so I'm going to go ahead and take him on. I think this might be the first time that I've done this dungeon on a 3, and it seems like on some bigger pulls, things do get a little bit spicy. Yeah, he tells me not to stand there, and then he stands there and just takes it right in the face. I missed that battle cry interrupt over there. I was looking at Ron, was thinking of healing him and at least getting a paw on him. Alright, lining up another aim shot. Man, that timing was a little bit rough there. I hung out long enough for him to get the shot off, but almost stood. Damn, missed the battle cry again. God, he's so dumb. And wait a minute, he says that's it for him, but he's still doing the aim shot? Okay. The good thing is, I don't have to heal him outside of battle, and it looks like we may have a special encounter over here. Yeah, that aim shot, I mean, it does okay damage, and it's probably safer to get him set up to do it than the jumping, but the damage is eh. I have seen these guys before. I think they get into, yeah, they get into a fight with me. Early aim shot. Gatling wand? That sounds unfair. That was kind of obnoxious timing for that aim shot over there. My choice was to have him miss the shot or stand in the concentration, the consecration. to get an interrupt. Now, see, again, stand in the skull cracker or haven't missed the shot. I really expected to knock down 2 people with 4 million health. Okay, apparently you don't have to bring it down all the way. A big key is to get the interrupts on that holy light. Okay, they don't need to go down all the way, which is good. Chance when attacking an enemy to throw a random item from Reno's backpack. The item may root, stun, or down. Okay. Random stuns might be nice. So that's where Braun, being a healer, comes in handy, getting those little vials on the ground. It's very similar to Deckard Cain's abilities in Heroes of the Storm. Alright, so that first area is done. I'm gonna now go through a little intermediary area as we get into the next big room. For those who do play Guardian Druids, I gotta say, I'm liking the feel of my bear in the War Within beta. The added ability going down the sort of feral tree in those extra talents we had, and going down Claw instead of the Boomkin abilities, I really, really like Ravage. It is a great new ability, and it's so fun to have finally, for I don't even remember how many expansions now, something really new and exciting to do for my Guardian Druid. And when Ravage is up, I find it to be a very, very damaging ability. And it's, you know, typically my my druid is able to live through just about everything. There comes a point in every expansion where unless it's a world boss, my druid is basically able to take on any outdoor things that I come across. And, you know, eventually there'll, you know, in every expansion there's a new area and new stuff will spawn, and then, you know, a lot of the elites or big bads in those particular areas will be tough for a bit. And then as the new raid gear keeps coming out and you sort of expand your repertoire of what you have access to, it usually evens out, and then even those are no longer an issue. Kind of thinking of like all the Antorus stuff in Legion. Some of that was kind of tough when it first dropped, and then even at that point, my druid would eventually catch up and just kind of be able to walk through all of that. From the years and years that I've gone through that and always lived through that kind of cycle and everything, having Ravage sort of ends that cycle a little bit, because what typically happens is that my druid doesn't take a lot of damage and can live through everything, but a lot of times it's sort of a boring slog. You know, I'm able to take a lot of punishment, but because I'm a tank, I'm not doing a hell of a lot of damage myself. I'm just able to stay in the fight for a really, really long time. When the Ravage proc is up, the damage that ability does is extremely satisfying, and it makes me feel like I finally have something that, and I won't even say does competitive DPS, because I haven't really taken that ability into any dungeons yet. So, you know, trying to keep up with the DPS in a particular instance or something is not anything that I've experienced yet in the War Within beta. However, just doing the outside content. Oh, this is gonna be a big pull. Oh yeah, this one's gonna get a little hectic. However, there is definitely a lot of brawn potions on the ground over here. Actually, this isn't nearly as bad as I thought it was. It's just having to chase down these guys running, which gives me old humans in Scarlet Monastery flashbacks. Hoping Braun finally gets a level over here. He's been one, but a high one for some time. I can't wait to see what happens when he actually gains a level. But yeah, that Ravage is a good feeling, to be able to be out questing and encounter rares and even elites and have a couple of those Ravages proc in battle and just see huge chunks of health go off the mobs is always extremely satisfying, because as a tank you don't get to see it that often. And then when you're playing DPS, yeah, sure, you're doing great damage and everything, but you may have to manage tons of defensive cooldowns to get the harder outdoor content done. So the new Druid ability is a way to walk a kind of a fine line between being a boring tank and actually having some ability to do DPS. Seems like, as of yet, that kobold, I was going to say that kobold is actually not running. And because I interrupted a fireball there, I did not have my interrupt up for battle cry. What is this thing? I have no... This thing doesn't seem to be hurting me. It actually seems to be healing. But Braun's a little beat up over here. I really feel like he just wants to absolutely jump in that hot tub whenever he's casting that wick spell. Alright, looks like we are going to have a big pull again. When that candle goes out, it's very easy to just pick up mobs that you don't see. But this seems pretty manageable. Yeah, I'm glad you're saying you're not gonna miss, but there's nobody here, dude. Alright, so we're at a midway point. If we were to die, we would respawn at this particular stone. How much more of this place is left? Yeah, there's a hallway and one more big room, so it looks like we're getting there. I'm not exactly too sure how big or how bad the changes were, but I do know that there are some people that are quite upset at how Blizzard was handling delves. I do believe they have nerfed or changed the way really good gear drops from delves. I think it's maybe only like one a week now or something like that. I haven't read up too much on it. It was just sort of something that caught the corner of my eye when I was reading a post about how upset people were at the pre-patch event that's going on for the War Within. So over on a normal live server right now, we are just about at the end of our first week of doing the pre-patch stuff. And originally, it did not start off particularly well. Dude, the guy's over here is like, he's trying to shoot me more than trying to shoot the mob. But yeah, the pre-patch stuff had a 90-minute cooldown. So when it would pop in a particular zone, it would be live for X amount of time. And usually you were only doing the activity in that zone for maybe about 10 minutes worth. You were flying around, hitting hot spots at them in the map. When you would get to that spot, essentially different things would be required to clear the spot, like maybe get lumber or maybe clear webbed crusaders or free tadpoles from cages and everything. So there was a solid variety. Sometimes maybe it was a like a big bad mini boss. But aside from that variety, people were getting pretty upset over the fact that they were doing an activity for 10 minutes and then they had a 90-minute cooldown before it would switch zones and they could do it again. Also, the currency that was dropping, the Radiant Memories, I believe, Radiant Echoes, I think it is, it was not dropping a lot of it, and to get the catch-up gear that you wanted, or, upgrade gear, if you haven't been playing a lot, or minor upgrade gear if you've been pretty active, was expensive. Some weapons were about 8,000. I think a chest is like 5,000. Simple rings and necks were about 2,000 or so. But the economy was really, really garbage. You did not have a great supply, even though there was a ton of demand for the currency. So enough people expressed their concerns, and Blizzard listened and actually started giving you more currency, better currency, and decreasing the time between zone switches, and giving you more stuff to do in the zone when you killed the big boss, be it Ragnaros, Onyxia, or the Lich King. So yeah, they did definitely go ahead and fix it, but one of the things that was also being complained about at the time is the change to delve. So people were just basically using the two things to attack Blizzard for sort of wasting your time and not understanding how gamers want to play this and everything. I don't know all the details of the delve changes, and maybe they'll reverse that too, but I do believe some people are feeling like delves got nerfed. And the original idea of delves is a different way for you to keep up with endgame gear. You have a game that is dedicated towards raiders, and you can give people upgrades that way by putting them in a guild, running raids as a guild, not being in a guild, but always going into raids where they're looking for people to fill roles and everything. There is the weaker form of raid which is called LFR. That is where the game throws everybody together for you. You know, you pick the role that you are, DPS, healer, or tank, and you queue into the LFR raid, which tends to have lower difficulty and also lower rewards compared to normal, heroic, and mythic raiding. Then you have the PvPers who tend to sometimes just not do any PvE at all, and they just do PvP and arena matches, and they get their gear. I'm gonna get fried right at the end. Yep. They get their gear through doing PvP. Well, where the game has sometimes fallen down in its history is catering to the people who aren't raiders, aren't PvEers, or PvPers, excuse me, but people who are more casual or just kind of do the lone wolf thing from The Hangover. You know, they just they don't have a pack to run with. They just like to do a lot of solo stuff, or maybe their pack is limited. It's, you know, 3 or 4 or 5 good friends, not enough to do their own raid, but they still want to experience everything that the game has to offer. So that is where sometimes WoW has had issues in the past, is that sort of middle ground person who isn't a hardcore raider but still wants to do those kinds of things. And that's where Delves was going to come in and provide people a relatively different way of getting some of that high-end gear without being a hardcore raider. And now that it's maybe getting nerfed, we'll have to see what happens. Alright, so it looks like we've got an early aim shot. Still doing pretty good here. Avoid the flamestorm orbs. That was something to interrupt. So it looks like the ground slam is pretty unavoidable. Unless maybe a hard stun gets you through that. Oh man, outranging him over there, get away from that flamestorm, put him in darkness. I had no idea that he was doing that ability that I need to interrupt. Yeah, I definitely think don't avoid the ground slam. And it looks like when it happens, your candle is knocked off. Maybe don't... there it is again. Got it that time. So Raging Tantrum is a thing you need to interrupt, and it looks like he often has got you far away from him right as he does it. I'm wondering if I can maybe use the center pillar to get around the ground slam. Nope. Was in a good spot for the tantrum that time. How did I just see a miss? Alright, sweet. So that's Kriegval's Rest. There's an achievement for 10 delves, which I just got. The other thing that you saw about me completing a delve was for the trading post. Definitely looks like there's been some items to collect on this one, despite having cleaned this place out. These little bags have respawned over here. It looks like they've been giving Braun a good deal of experience. I think he's finally leveled up over here. So I wonder if he'll know of a new curio ability or unlock that support one. 13 undercoins, bunch of resonance crystals. Yeah, okay, so that's a new curio for Braun. That's a new ability for him. I got a quest item. Use it, equip the streamline relic to Braun Bronzebeard. Fractured Spark of the Omens. You combine 2 Fractured Sparks of Omens with 250 Valor Stones to create a Spark of Omens, but not the Sword of Omens. Teleports you 6 yards. Oh, okay, so that's very similar to that zone that came out in Dragonflight, where you would go into that underground area and you had some temporary abilities that you can earn there, like the gust that moves you forward and everything. Not too sure exactly when I would use this, but okay, that's interesting. Another quest item. Looks like I bring this to the capital and get a bunch of stuff. And a new hat. Let's take a look at that hat. Is an upgrade, not breaking a set bonus, so that's safe to go with.
Nice fight.
Braun enters an intense rage while in combat, periodically increasing his damage done by 5% every 2.5 seconds for 10 seconds. He also suffers 3% of his maximum health. Oh boy. Yeah, okay. Having healer Braun going into berserker mode and potentially killing himself is going to be great, since he likes to stand in fire and kill himself anyway. I think we can go back here. Repair, we'll get rid of that junk. Again. Yeah, still can't do anything with the utility. I do have a quest for him to try something new here. I think it's this one, this Ancient Curio. Let me see exactly what the details of that are. Add the Streamline Relic to your collection. Equip the Streamline Relic. Yeah, I thought I had something for him. There it is. And we finally have a utility one for him. While out of combat, the party's movement speed is increased. When entering combat, your haste... Oh, that's really good. Huh. Yeah, I like that. Especially when you're doing a delve on repeat and you've already gone through it, the ability to go through these pretty quickly is handy. And he's gained some experience for it. So, alright, folks. There we go. That was Kriegval's Rest. Here in the starting zone of the War Within, which is the Isle of Dorn. It goes along with Fungal Folly and Earthcrawl Mine. So thanks for checking out this video, and in the future we will have new delves to do down here in the Ringing Deeps, and we'll be able to go through them new together and see all the collectibles and specials and everything together, rather than going through these and having them be partially empty. Thanks for stopping in, folks. Have a good one.